Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Glad to have you aboard this afternoon as we get set up for a whole 2 days without Edmonton Oilers playoff hockey. We'll get back underway officially. Here's what the goodies are today. 8 p.m., 8:20 puck drop for the Edmonton Oilers on Wednesday night. So that's exciting, right? A little earlier than we've had the past few nights overall, right? Friday was 8:30, 8:50, 8:30, 8:50 on Sunday. And now here we have it for the Edmonton Oilers on a Wednesday. We're going to get to go to bed about 20 minutes earlier, all told, one might imagine, unless overtime has something to factor into Wednesday night's game. The Oilers, they have a chance to clinch the series on Wednesday as well, which I am telling you, I am hoping with everything that they do, simply because I've got a ball tournament on the weekend, which I'd love to get out and play some ball. I know weather in Alberta is supposed to be terrible this weekend, but hey, you know what? At some point, something has to line up, right? And secondarily, I've got some traveling around to do on Friday night out to Banff. So stuff has to obviously get taken care of while the Oilers are in the playoffs. And if the Oilers could take care of business before that stuff gets taken care of, that would be dang great. So the Oilers, Wednesday night, chance to clinch the series. Stuart Skinner obviously riding high after one goal in the last 120 minutes plus against the Vegas. I'm still chewed up about last year. No, against the LA Kings. So good news there for the Oilers. They've gotten the goaltending they've needed the past two games. They've gotten the defense they've needed, the special teams work, and of course, honestly, at 5-on-5, this team, as long as they keep it even with the other team, the way they've been playing on the penalty kill is going to win every single game, right? Match the intensity, just kind of clamp down on the play coming back your way. You know what? If you go 1-1 on 5-on-5, the Oilers are, as they did last night, at some point in the hockey game, going to find that power play goal that is the difference maker. Now, obviously, I think it was Mac T this afternoon with Brendan Escott on Oilers Now talking about you don't want to praise it because as soon as you start talking about it, it seems to go back the other way. Well, I'll tell you this for the Edmonton Oilers is it would take a lot to reverse the success they've had here on the power play, or penalty kill, sorry, and the power play for that matter, early on in this series against LA. Simply, the penalty kill has probably been, there's been great stretches all season long, right? That 16-game winning streak, the penalty kill was amazing. I think during that 8-game win streak earlier before that, it was pretty good. But you look at it overall, is this has got to be the most dominant stretch. I know a lot of fans talking last night, that third period power play for LA, how nervous they were. I just kind of listening to the game in the car on the way back from Calgary last night, kind of listening to it before getting to the airport, all that. It kind of really shook out to me that this was never a game that the Oilers were going to lose. And I mean, just the kind of tone in the game, the kind of way the Oilers were sitting there on the ice, making the plays, making the small plays, making small things turn into kind of big opportunities to get the puck out. It just that power play never really shook me. I know I was like, oh, here we go. This is not good. But again, the Oilers just are doing what it takes to win in the NHL playoff level. And it's absolutely fantastic to see because for a lot of 82 games this year, it was up, down, and all around, and you never quite knew what you were going to get. But I think the nice part about last night's game, on hindsight here, is that the Oilers, from start to finish, looked like the team that everybody thinks they need to be to win the Stanley Cup, and the team that ultimately was going to win that hockey game last night. And the reason, right, I think quite simply, the reason I even bothered to live stream last night, I didn't realize that I'd be starting the stream right at the start of the third period. Not that it is a bad thing overall, but I expected, like historically, traditionally as an Oilers fan, 1-0 going into the third period. We played a really good game so far, done everything we need to put ourselves in a position to win it in 20 minutes. Yeah, there's probably going to be overtime in a 1-1 hockey game, right? So let's not just kind of slowly go quietly into the night here. Let's get up there and party a little bit. And well, for the Oilers, what was 20 minutes of really, there was never a huge couple of moments back to back to back for the LA Kings where it's like sequence after sequence, shift after shift, where they were going to score one, right? I think the Oilers did such an amazing job in that third period specifically. That's the only period I was able to watch, not listen to. And it was just amazing. The net front clears kind of, again, too, it comes down to, at the end of the day, too, the bounces as well. And the bounces were going in favor of the Oilers all through that third period. And it just seemed that every single moment that ticked by on the clock, the Oilers more and more had the game in the bag and were just kind of ingraining themselves in winning this 1-1-0. And that's where today, right, you're seeing the storylines which talk about how great of a game Vinny Desharnais had, how great of a game a guy like Matthias Janmark had, how great of a game it truly was from Stuart Skinner. Well, what's special about all that all told for the Oilers, as my cat's losing his marbles, just all told, it's just one of those things where going into this series, you watch the first two games, it's like, hey, you know what? The Oilers aren't going to be that team to win 1-0, but they are the team that can light you up and will win the majority of the games in this series, right? That's what we thought. And then all of a sudden, you have this just bizarro world, everything anyone's ever asked for when it comes to a playoff effort for the Oilers. And it's this beautiful, gorgeous, just symphony almost of a hockey game where every little piece is played just right to lead the Oilers to a 1-0 win. And for Stuart Skinner, obviously a much needed game for the Edmonton Oilers defense. I think that's where you got to really look at that, because you watch Kopitar, Kempe, heck, Doughty over the past few games have really at times ate the Oilers alive for opportune goals. And I know Stuart Skinner made over 30 saves last night, but there was never, like I said, that bunch of sequences in a row where the LA Kings really started to bend the Oilers and almost had them at the point of snapping, at least in the third period I watched, and at least kind of catching the play-by-play that I did on the radio when it wasn't fuzzing out down here in southern Alberta. But it was just all around one of those games that you really just, I did just witness that was real, that was legit, that was wow, that's not at all what you expect going into a game with the Oilers nowadays, and that's not at all what you would have thought would happen given the way the first period went, right? LA won the period, but the Oilers won it by being tied after one. The Oilers get the power play goal in the second, have the 1-0 lead, have the chance to put their foot down and really take hold of the series 3-1 with just a 20-minute effort to win the hockey game. And that 20-minute effort, I think I said it right there in the stream as well last night, they were just bleeding the clock away minute by minute by minute. And just that third period ticked on by quicker than I think any period this series has. And all of a sudden, bang, the Oilers were 1-0 winners without really, outside of that power play for LA, there was no big couple of moments, like I'm saying, that you really had to sweat it out. Yeah, the nerves of a 1-0 game, that 6-minute mark for Stuart Skinner or Calvin Pickard where they lose the shutout, that was a little nerve-wracking. But again, right, it just never, like, I sit here now and it's like, I don't know if it's kind of the afterthought now of, we were up 3-1, chance to clinch it on Wednesday, or if it is just truly the fact that that third period was never, the whole game was never so stressful that you just weren't going to recover the next day, right? I think it's a lot more column A than column B, because that, obviously, you look at some of those moments early in that first period, man, it was not pretty for the Oilers in that first period at times. And overall, all night, we only had, 13 shots, so it's not like the Oilers went out there and dictated this game. They really were in survival mode a lot of the game. But again, I heard it a million times over on the play-by-play radio broadcast with Jack and Bob, just saying they're keeping them to the outside. It's a lot of shots from the periphery. There's a whole bunch of nothing coming on net, and Stuart Skinner's turning it aside. So huge effort from the Oilers last night. Game 5, chance to clinch the series, goes 8:20 puck drop on Wednesday. I'll have the call for you Wednesday night as we get set up for ball season officially kicking off on Friday evening, as this weekend's going to be a ton of fun. Hopefully not having to worry about the Oilers until possibly Monday when the second round could get underway. Friends, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Thanks for being aboard this evening. I am up on out of here.